Over 11 million leaked documents from the Panama-based law firm Mossack Fonseca reveal how some of the world's richest and most powerful people hide their wealth in tax havens. It's claimed secret offshore deals and loans worth $2 billion are linked to the inner circle of Vladimir Putin, although the Russian president is not himself named in the files, which allegedly show some firms domiciled in tax havens were being used for suspected money laundering and tax evasion. Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko is listed as having offshore wealth, one of 12 current or former leaders mentioned. Around 60 people with close ties to leaders also feature, including former Chinese Prime Minister Li Peng's daughter Li Xiaolin. Argentina's President Mauricio Macri, making headlines recently for the right reasons by hosting President Obama, is named in the data leak, as is Iceland's Prime Minister Sigmundur Gunnlaugsson, now under pressure to resign amid claims he failed to declare a stake in an offshore firm. There's also embarrassment for Britain's Prime Minister David Cameron, whose late father is listed as a client of the law firm, although there's no suggestion he did anything wrong. And it's not only politicians who are implicated in the leaks, with World Footballer of the Year Lionel Messi and Michel Platini, the former head of European football's governing body UEFA, also on the list. Owning an offshore firm is not in itself illegal, but with this leak raising claims of illicit activities, the ball is now in Mossack Fonseca's court.
Edward Snowden labelled it the biggest leak in the history of data journalism, but the release of the so-called Panama Papers had yet to draw a reaction from Mossack Fonseca, the law firm implicated, until now. All those names that show up there, including the football players, including the mafia types, all of those are not our clients. They are clients of bank intermediaries that bought one of our incorporated companies, sold it, and those people used it for who knows what. Fonseca claims the documents were obtained illegally through hacking. Although he confirmed many of the papers were in fact real, he maintained the company's innocence of any wrongdoing.
The orderly scene was in contrast to those witnessed on Greek shores in recent months. These migrants and refugees on the island of Lesbos were among the first to be sent back to Turkey under a controversial European Union scheme. The aim to stop the mass exodus orchestrated by human traffickers, which saw 1 million people pour across the Aegean to Greece, often in dangerous conditions, over the past year.
Today's operation went very smoothly. It was very calm. Migrants went onto buses with their escorting officers, and then they came here and they collected their luggage, and also together with escorting officers they boarded the ferries.
Some voiced their disapproval. Refugee agencies and human rights campaigns have denounced the accord. In return for advantages including money, Turkey will take back all migrants arriving illegally in Greece if they don't apply for asylum or their claim is rejected.
It's no agreement at all. It is no solution. It's just, well, it's just about money. And I'm here with a heart. I care for people. And we should take care for the most vulnerable in this world. And that's why I'm here.
One banner spelt out a major concern among protesters. For every Syrian sent back to Turkey, another Syrian will be resettled in Europe, but most of the first batch sent back was said to be from Pakistan. Our correspondent in Lesbos says migrant deportations are of great importance to Greece. Athens wants to show the international community it's implementing the agreement with Turkey. But with 52,000 refugees trapped and borders closed, the government's also trying to reassure Greeks who are afraid the situation will soon be out of control.
The European Commission says Ankara has met the legal requirements for the return of migrants from Greece. A spokesperson made the statement as the Turkish coastal town of Dikili received the first group among more than 200 migrants, concretely bringing into effect a controversial deal between the country and the European Union. The EU says the plan is to shut down a human smuggling route across the Aegean. However, rights groups and local residents are unhappy with the situation. I don't want refugees here, says this woman. It's a tiny, beautiful coastal town. Where will they keep them? Where? What will happen next? All the people here are concerned. There was a festival yesterday. Women were selling stuff, but everyone was talking about this issue. An admissions centre has been set up in the town to receive the arriving boats. Officials say the first group included Pakistanis, Afghans and a small number of Syrians. This is a small place. This is also a tourist area, says this local resident. It's not logical. Of course they need a place to stay, but not here. Maybe closer to the border, so they can go back to their country. Turkey's EU Affairs Minister told local media Syrian migrants coming from Greece will be sent to southern Turkey. The immediate future for arrivals of other nationalities remains to be seen. Our correspondent added, with this first boat coming from Greece, the readmission agreement has come into effect. But will this solve the problems of the refugees? And will it meet expectations? That will be seen soon. But the residents of Dikili are not happy that their town is becoming a reception centre.
Bora Bayraktar, Euronews, Dikili.
Quid pro quo, the first group of Syrian refugees to be sent to Europe in exchange for those returned to Turkey have arrived in Germany. The first plane load carrying 16 Syrians landed in Hanover on a morning flight from Istanbul. A similar number arrived slightly later, around midday. Germany's Chancellor Merkel largely helped orchestrate the EU's exchange deal with Turkey, under which the number of resettlements in Europe is to be capped at 72,000. Today's new arrivals are, of course, very excited because they had to pack up everything in Turkey in a relatively short period of time. They just had 1 week to do this. And they had to get up very, very early in the morning today. There's a very long journey behind them now, and of course they're excited about what to expect in Germany. The Syrians were taken to a reception centre in the region. Despite the massive influx of refugees into the country, more than half the places in such centres are now said to be vacant. The move by several countries to close the Balkan route has drastically reduced numbers.
Police and unidentified men have exchanged heavy gunfire in Congo's capital, a matter of hours after a peace and unity concert was held. It's the first major outbreak of violence in Brazzaville since President Denis Sassou Nguesso won re-election in a heavily disputed ballot just over 2 weeks ago. Witnesses say protesters chanting "Sassou, leave" set fire to the local police headquarters and mayor's office.